Periva Sharanam. Deivathin Kural, Book 6. Sudhaa, Saagara, Madhyastaa. It is the abode of Ambaal in the ocean of Amrita that is described in short in the 8th shloka of Saundara Lahari, where it is mentioned that she is seated in the lap of Kameshwara. In the center of Amrita Saagara, surrounded by many forts of many materials, in the center of the island, which instead of having sand and stones is fully covered by gems, there is the garden of Nipa or Kadamba trees. On the earth also, in the city of Madurai in Tamil Nadu, one of the favorite places of Ambaal, it was full of Kadamba trees once upon a time. In the Tamil language, it is also called as the Kadappam. This flower is said to be very popular with Lord Muruga or Subramanya, so much so that in Tamil, one of his names also is Kadamban. In the Manigdvipam, there is a forest of all Kadamba trees. Our Adi Acharyal has sung a stotra known as Tripurasundari Ashtakam, in which the first 4 stanzas start with Kadamba. They go like this: Kadamba Vana Vasinim, Kadamba Vana Charinim, Kadamba Vana Shalaya, and Kadamba Vana Madhyakam. Ambaal will be happily roaming about in such a forest of Kadamba trees. There is Kadamba Vanam in Madurai and Kadamba Upavanam in the Manidvipa, like we have many parks in our cities. Earlier, in the outer environs, there are Kadamba forest, and in the center there is this Upavanam or park of Kadamba trees. Having gone in for towns and townships everywhere, we have been cutting trees without any let. Then, coming to realize that lack of trees is detrimental for human life in many ways, we started celebrating Vana Mahotsava for one day in the year. Even that is done more on paper nowadays, it seems. But in olden times, the areas between cities and towns were full of forests. They saved our living areas without getting the nature upset and resupplied oxygen in the night times, and they were also a hindrance for marauding enemy forces. Ambaal's palace is effulgent with brilliance, since it is made of all Chintamani gems surrounded by a garden of Kadamba trees. If all our thoughts are adoringly perfect about the aim of our devotion, that is Ambaal, such a construction by gems of thoughts is also a Chintamani Griham, a temple by gems of Chinta or thoughts, isn't it? Such an alayam or temple, that is our minds, will also become an abode of Ambaal. To make such an eventuality to become a reality, we start with thinking of her abode somewhere outside, so that finally she comes to stay eternally within our minds. That is how Abhirami Bhattar asks in Abhirami and Dadi in the song number 20, "Where is your residence? Is it in so-and-so place? Is it there or here?" Having asked many such questions, Abhirami Bhattar finally doubtfully puts in a question hesitantly. Could it be my heart? Indan Ninjagamo, so he says. In another song, in the song number 56, he is wondering as to how, having opened out like a bud that blooms, from being one, having become many and much more, having permeated the whole expanse of the Milky Way and beyond, I wonder how she has been able to come into this small heart of mine and stays here permanently. Now back to the Chintamani Griham. In the Manjam of the form of Shiva, on Pancha Brahmasanam, above those 5, in the lap of Paramashiva, also known as the Parabrahma Swarupa or Kameshwara, Ambaal is seated as Paramashiva Paryanga Nilayam, as the shloka says. Simply, Anga or Anka would have meant the lap or the thigh. But this phrase here, Paramashiva Paryanga Nilayam, would mean generally the bedding, cot, bedspread, and the cloth worn around the body, assuming even wider meaning to become inclusive of palanquin or pallak. In the Sanskrit encyclopedia, the dictionary by the name of Amarakosham, it is said Shayanam, Mancham, Paryangam or Palyanga. All these are meant to be synonyms. Now Kameshwara's lap is Ambaal's mattress, bedspread, and also Paryangam. The one seated on it, Kameshwari, instead of being called Rajarajeshwari or Tripura Sundari, that she anyhow is lifted to the far reaches of Jnana as Chidananda Lahari. Some rare individuals are lucky enough to be worshipping her. Saying so, our Acharya concludes this shloka. Periva Sharanam.